Yes.
All right, yo. What is going on? Um, so I just kind of was hopped on Twitter real quick, and somebody was kind of reading Tower of God, and they're like, I'm dropping this Tower of L. It's trash. It's bad. Blah blah blah. And I was like, whoa. Where does this come from? So like a long thread, and they were going through a bunch of reasons why they're dropping the series. They're brain dead. It was wrong. But I'm here with Xarso, Vince, Marcus. What's up?
What's up?
We're gonna be
You're-
What's going on? What's going on?
We're gonna be talking about Tower of God. The main criticisms that I see for the series. We're gonna talk about it, whether or not we agree with them, think they're valid to some degree, all that stuff. And the first thing we're talking about is the one of the most common ones, which we all obviously know, the early art. People always complain, oh, it's ugly, it's not gonna read the art, it's terrible. How do we feel about the beginning of Tower of God?
All right. Okay. Like, as I've made it abundantly clear for the past 3 months, I have reread this series 6 times from scratch. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that the early art was perfect or left nothing to be desired. Yes, it's definitely flawed. It definitely shows it shows there was a learning curve, but I can't say that it was so bad that that's a valid reason to drop the series. I'm not going to say that it's flawless art by any means. It's just a growing style. That's just how it is. That's like sitting here saying that Naruto's beginning art was perfect, which if anyone has ever read it from the scratch, it really wasn't. There was a lot of things that left to be desired. So I don't think that art is ever a valid reason to drop a series.
You think so? I feel like if you don't like the artwork, sometimes it's a medium of art and literature. I guess I feel like you're kind of valid, but I don't think that. I agree with what you're saying. But for me, the early Tower of God art is amateurish. I don't think it's bad. I think he obviously was still learning the ropes a lot. But go ahead.
You do say what I mean by that is, I'm not saying that what I mean more so is that I don't think that the sole reason to drop a series should be because of the art. It's one thing if the art takes you out of it a little bit and then you can't get into the story. That's a combination of two things. But saying, oh, well, the story is great, but the art was so bad I refuse to read it, that's different. I think if the art is something that's that bad to you, then sure, everyone has their own opinions. They might not like something, but for me personally, I didn't dislike the art at all. I thought it was a really interesting medium. It felt like it was in a totally different world and universe than anything that I'd read up to that point, and continues to be that. So I think that different art style just made it stand out to me that much more. I would much rather it be go through an adjusting period for me to get used to than it looking like the same rom-com manga that you read that you find every other week, where a lot of the art styles look just the same to a certain degree, just because it belongs in the same genre.
Shoujo manga do look the same.
Big facts.
That you're gonna find the main character girl with the biggest eyes. There's gonna be a brooding male character that barely looks at anybody, and then suddenly gets wide-eyed every 3 other chapters after he realizes he likes them. That's just it's boring. That's why I don't think that the art should be something people should look at to decide if they want to continue to read something.
What do you think, Xarso?
When I started Tower of God, it definitely grew on me, the art style, because I tried reading it at one point, and I was like, yeah, this art style fucking has me. And then I think I was getting kicked out of the military at this point, and I was like, you know what? Every time I'm on some shit, I find something really interesting to read. Let me try Tower of God. And you know what? I have to thank the military for kicking me out, because I would never have picked up Tower of God. I shit you not. I shit you not. I shit you not.
So bad for laughing.
I know.
No. Go ahead, yo. I'm telling you, Tower of God was that good.
It was worth it.
I remember they were trying to kick me out and everything, and I was like, yo, you know what? I'm not even gonna go to this place. I'm gonna just sit in my room and just read Tower of God until like I get bored, and I'll do it tomorrow because it's that much fun. Yo, I caught up so fucking quick. It was nice. Like I OD'd on Tower of God when I found out how good it was. Yo, the art, yeah, sure. Like it was kind of weird in the beginning, but then like I slowly but surely I started to realize like, you know what? I'm actually fucking with like with the color, like with the colors. I'm fucking with like, the way this guy draws, and obviously because it had like what, like four, like it's up to like 400, I think, like right now, or it's like pushing 400. Like back then, it's like, yo, it didn't, like, the art wasn't that great. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to like, read through it and like wait for the art to get better. But it's like honestly, growing with the art and actually, going through like the entire story once over, fucking enjoyed all of it. Like the artwork, I'd go back and fucking reread Tower of God. It's just that I'm so interested in like in the current storyline, that and just so much to absorb from Tower of God. It's like one day when I'm feeling ballsy.
Yeah, I feel that. Vince.
I don't have that much to say about this particular topic because we talk about it so much, but I'll just say what I always say. I read Blade of the Immortal and Hunter x Hunter, and those shits, like, they wrote those holes with like an Etch-a-Sketch, especially Blade of the Immortal, because that shit was so light. Like, I had problems reading that. Like, my eyesight's pretty decent. I put on my glasses and I still have problems reading Blade of the Immortal. Because like he literally wrote that with the lightest pencil he could possibly find, and like not Toriyama, my bad. Fucking Tagashi's art on Hunter x Hunter manga is so ugly to me. Like that shit makes me like want to cry sometimes because like he really don't give a fuck and he gives up like halfway through the chapter. Mm-hmm. But it's never stopped me from reading the respective series. To me, it's like if everything else is good. Like for me personally, and I can't speak for everybody, but art is like the least important thing. The only one that kind of turned me off that I could say that like prevented me from reading something for a while, which I'm still intending to pick up, was the Yaiba manga that everybody hypes up right now. That's like, I hate abstract style art because I'm more of like a beautiful like kind of church religious themed art type stuff, how they made everybody super beautiful and stuff. I'm more of a fan of that, so the abstract art kind of throws me off. But other than that, I can't ever say like art prevented me from reading something. I read the original like one manga for One Punch Man, the original one comic, and he can't draw at all, like literally.
And that shit was so funny.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yo, that Yaiba shit's out here.
I like Yaiba, but I think the artwork, it had to grow on me for sure.
Yeah. It's off-putting at first glance, but yeah, like I said, I don't ever see art as like a valid criticism, but I can see how it makes you wary at first. But just compared to a lot of stuff that I read, Tower of God's beginning art is not that bad.
I agree. So another thing I see a lot recently with the beginning, which was something I never ever saw until like this year, is a lot of people complain about the early exposition, like the first 2 or 3 chapters, where like, why am I getting so much exposition? And like it's too much, too early. And my reply to that is always that this is technically an isekai story. You're taking a character from an area that they're used to and putting them in a completely foreign environment. In the sense is that as Bam is in the tower learning things, you are with him, learning along with him, right? He's completely foreign to this tower. He doesn't know anything. So obviously he needs shit explained to him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I never really got that criticism because I'm like, I feel like, if he like lived in the tower or whatever, like if that was you like taught it like a wearer or something, that makes sense. But like the fact that he's a regular, like he needs to learn what's happening. He's not from here, quote unquote. Like we know more in hindsight, but you know what I'm saying?
I guess I'll go. Unless one of y'all want to go first. If not, I'll go first.
Nah. I was gonna say that, like, it'd be a different story if he was hip to everything. It'd be a different story.
Yeah, but he literally knows nothing about any of the things that are going on around him.
Yeah, like that kind of leaves it open to like some crazy shit to like come through, and so like, yo, he's experiencing this, and you're experiencing this at the same time, and it's crazy. Instead of like, oh yeah, this thing kind of happens from time to time. Like, oh, I shouldn't mess with that guy. Oh, I shouldn't mess with that guy. Like, Bomb doesn't know who's who, so he doesn't really care.
Yeah. Also, like, personally, I think that this makes it. I feel like this makes it feel like there's more immersion into the world. Personally, like it makes me appreciate. Like it just really creates that suspension of disbelief. Like it makes you just forget that this is literally just a fake story for a bit. Like, like for me, like the fact that we literally have to learn everything from scratch because this guy knows nothing, and like Bam will probably never expose major plot points on his own. Yeah. Like everything that he learns, we're learning that with him. So it'll never be a point where it's just like, oh well, Bam knew this entire time. I doubt we'll ever get to the point where we're like, oh yeah, Bam knows all of this stuff already. Like that's just my personal view on that.
Well, I'll have to say this from a writing standpoint, because I kind of want to just talk about more of like what SIU is trying to do. Okay, so two things and I do find the empathy a semi-legitimate thing, but the only reason I say that is because I feel like for a long time, which could be a real criticism of SIU, is that he had a hard time explaining what he wanted to do. It's not that he did not know what he wanted to do, because he knows what he's doing. Like he's really, I think, touched on this before on certain manga and certain like this. Sometimes it's like, show me, don't tell me.
Yeah, show don't tell, because
that's part of it. And it's just like
you're cutting it all out, by the way.
He's trying to set up this entire world, and it was different than like certain other maybe, and even then you probably should know. But like most people already know like certain aspects, but with the tower of God and everything else, it's like something completely like different. He's setting up literally every single aspect. He has no platform to stand on at all. So you literally have to learn all this stuff, because if you didn't, then you would literally never know what's going on in this webtoon. This manhwa at all.
That kind of ties into the next thing, where it's like I think one of the two, I'd say 2.5 that I agree with is like one I'm like, I'm never entirely sure if this is a criticism or whatnot, but I know that the series is dense. There is a lot to remember. Like there's like a shit ton to remember from the get-go.
Yeah,
it's jam packed with information. So a lot of people are they like, yo, there's way too much things I gotta keep track of from way early on. You think that's a bad thing or a good thing on this part?
Thanks.
I think that's a good thing.
I can definitely see why it would be a little intimidating, especially because like the information dump happens at such an insanely fast pace that like easily like you can like if you're just like rushing through the series, like just trying to get caught up just because like you're hyped to get to this part that you saw someone like post on the online or whatever, like I can definitely see how you could easily miss so much information, or just like forget about one or two characters that you didn't think were important because they didn't leave that much of an impression on you. So I can definitely see
Tower of God is weird because it's set up almost kind of like a video game in a way. Like if you ever play certain games like Skyrim or Dark Souls or something like that, I feel like those are like the best analogies for Tower of God, because like the fact that like, okay, so if you would have told me about a manga or a manhwa that I had to read blog posts to get more information, I would have told you that you were crazy and I never would have picked it up. But it's that good. But it's that good that the fact that you want to go out and make sure you immerse yourself in all this extra information that you kind of like, it's not too hard to find, especially if you know somebody who's read it. But the fact that you have to like go out of your way to like go seek the information out is a testament to its fault and its strength. The fact that it makes you want to know more about the lore, but at the same time that like all this stuff wasn't explained greatly at the beginning.
Like on a One Piece type beat, where it's like the SBSs and everything. It's like you like there are some things.
One Piece is so much better at that aspect though. As much as I love Tower God, like One Piece kicks his ass at that, especially from the beginning stage.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because like everything's kind of like set, kind of in stone. Like there's no real like there's some one-offs here and there, and like but like Tower of God, you have like just being like just being like a ranker is like a one-off thing. It's just fucky. It's real fucky.
I think like do you think that it's a bad thing that he has to sometimes clarify his intentions to the blog post though?
I wouldn't for me personally, it's not bad or good. Honestly I think it's more good than bad because it's just like I think it's hard when you have a limited set number of chapters, and if it like how we complain about Tagashi like overwording all these damn bubbles, or like Madoka Box, you just see all these damn bubbles here, there, everywhere, and you're just like, damn, I really don't want to see all this stuff. So it's just like the blog post gives you like something else. Like if you want to know more, go ahead. But at the same time, it's bad in a way because I feel like it's almost imperative that you do read the blog post.
Yeah.
It is.
There's so many, and part of this is because I blame the translation sites. Like some of this is not on SIU. Some of this is strictly on the translation sites.
Being
terrible.
Some mid.
Yeah, like they're so like this is the worst series I've ever seen for translation. I think ever. I can't really name you another. As much, and I love the you know me. I love the crap out of it. This is my GOAT.
Yeah.
But like it's so bad. The fact that Line even messes up stuff, and they're like a legit website, a legit app, and even they mess up stuff like regularly. That sucks, dude. Like I hope they fix that stuff for like new readers. Like eventually when we get to a point where it's done, or like when we get to season 3, like they go back and clean up some of this stuff, but then like that sucks for new readers. Cause I told y'all like the first time I read this, I feel like I was reading a completely different story from the rest of y'all because it was so badly, like the scans were so bad. I was literally reading like 2 separate stories at one time. I had to, and I'm just now reading it again for the 3rd time. So yeah, so it's pretty bad in that aspect, but it's still great.
My personal view on like the blog post is like, yes, I think it does have a little bit of a flaw, the fact that like the blog post is like such an imperative thing for like any diehard Tower of God reader. Like you like more or less have to read it to like just stay on top of like any potential theory crafting or anything like that. But I think the biggest issue with it is it's not even a matter of an SIU problem. It's actually a reader problem, because I know for a fact, just from like a lot of people like that I follow on Twitter that like read this, a lot of people are just very impatient with what they want. And especially when it came to like the whole Bam is beating high rankers and this, that, and the other, and Bam isn't doing anything, and everything was like that whole argument. People were just like getting mad that it was focusing so much on what the rankers were up to, and
because they're imperative. Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah, and but the thing is though is that like there are certain things that you just have to understand that like like he literally said, yes, I get it, it's been very ranker focused, but to be honest, like he literally had to say, yeah, it's gonna go back to regulars, because otherwise people just like, for one reason or other, people didn't want to see the rankers go off. And I don't know why you wouldn't want that, because these rankers are people that like you've literally been told about how amazing and incredible they are since like the 5th chapter. Mm-hmm. And I personally feel like most of the rankers either just kind of sat in the back and looked cool a la Gus Stang, or for some reason they all like people thought that they were going to get murked by Bam, who was on the 20th floor a la Mule Love. And I'm just like, no, like Mule Love isn't trying to kill him. Mule Love is just trying to make him cooperate. He's going easy on this dude.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, so we talk about this all the time. Now, this is, yeah, like you said, it is kind of on the readers, but at the same time, I can't really blame them, because the thing I like about Korean webtoons a lot more than manga at this point is their level of creativity and outside the box thinking that they're willing to do for a lot of manga or their manhwas, and they're willing to like the way that they're willing to try things, to work outside the story, try out that, because a lot of manga they're fine because they know what works. We're at such a point in manga is that a lot of writers kind of copycat each other because it works. But in Mawa, they're trying to go out of their way to try to do something different. Yeah, they're trying to do something different. Korean stories are nothing like the Japanese stories. So like, I can't really be mad at the readers because that's how the culture is built. It's just like, you know, the main character is the most important thing. We're gonna focus on him 95% of the time. That's just like, what happens.
And I can understand that, but I think that like as because like we know that SAU has like some sort of like internet presence, like keep track of what people are thinking and saying, just to gauge opinions on what he might want to ask.
Korean fans be bitching at it, I swear.
Well, yeah, but like also like that's something that like that's one thing I really appreciate about the blog post though. Like I've never felt like I had such a connection with the writer of anything that I was really enjoying. Like I feel like at any given time, like SIU could drop something and say, okay, readers, stop being dumb, or here's a little bit of a fan service thing that you might want. Which is why we know so many things about like well, not really so many things, but why we have the information. What the hell? Why we have the information on the 10 great family heads and like what their relationships were like as they were climbing the tower.
Yeah.
And like that's a question that a lot of people really had like in the early stages. Like what's with these people? Like what are they like? Like
that's what I'm just saying though, but it's just like, you know, honestly, like I don't feel like Tower of God is a casual reader's thing. Yeah.
It's not.
You
it's
have
not.
to be immersed. You have to be immersed, or you got to get off the pot. That's just how it is.
What do you think? What do you think Xarso about?
Wait, say that again.
What do you think? What do you think about like the blog post? Do you think it's bad that he has to clarify a lot of things to the blog post, or no?
No, it's perfectly fine. Like I said before, it's just like One Piece. Like we have Oda like clarifying certain things. We have people even commenting on some of the things that he changes in the manga. Like for example, Pudding's age, that was the thing that had to be clarified. Katakuri's devil fruit, another thing that had to be clarified. Like because sometimes some things just don't go right. Like, you know, translators just don't get things right. Editors do certain things. Like some people forget things. Mistakes are made. And sometimes you do want to learn some stuff, and I think that like that's the way you like that's how you get like a good fan base when you start throwing facts at them that they would actually want to have. It's like, oh, like I want, yeah.
Okay.
But no, that was it.
No, I think Marcus made a good point about the connection to SIU though, where it's like him talking about like, you know, I'm in the military, you know, sorry I can't draw this week, you know, he talking about his health, telling you to stay warm in the winter and that kind of stuff. You feel like, you know, you're connected to the author about it. I actually agree with that point.
Like you feel like this guy's actually a human doing things. Like when he gives you updates on his health, he's like, yeah, like I'm not feeling
my wrist hurts.
Again. Like he's actually
wrist hurting.
Like meanwhile you've got like Kishimoto like as much as I love Naruto, like I know for a fact I said a lot of mean things about the dude towards the end of that war. like I said, like I know, like high school me was a different person. Like I said a lot of mean things about the guy.
Big facts.
And I didn't really care either.
Well, he never makes an excuse though. That's what I like about SIU. Like he's sick, but the man still obviously like cares about his fans a lot. And like I think I feel that deeper with him than any other manga artist or Mawa artist for obvious reasons though. Because like we're reading it as he's doing it. Like, cause basically all of us, we didn't pick up Tower of God from the very beginning, but we basically picked it up in its early beginning stages. And sometimes when you read a Mawa, that's not the case. Like people who are gonna read this Mawa 3 or 4 years down the road are not gonna feel the same that we do because we're gonna have a better connection to it. So like I said, that's what I said. It's a good and a bad thing.
Well, okay, all right. So let me get to another criticism again. But I mean, I will say this though. I read that Tower of God's probably like it's hard to read casually. I feel like you need to kind of focus, read it, and reread it again, and take it to the blog post to get the full picture kind of thing. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. It's like this thing. Same thing with Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. If you want the whole story to that manga and stuff, you should probably read Cardcaptor Sakura first because it's still collapsed the same universe. Then you have to read Holic, which is like the flip side of what's happening, and they crisscross one another. So is it a good thing that part of the story is told somewhere else. I don't know really. I couldn't really tell you, but like I know where to get all the information, and I'm happy I can get it.
Well, I just want to say that at the end of the day, it's basically like I don't know how it would have been, say like if Oda or Kishimoto or fucking or Araki or all these other guys, if they have their own blog post. Like sometimes it's questions, but yeah, like I feel like the blog post it like actually does make him like more of a person, like a real ass person.
Yeah. Okay, so another one criticism that I got. This one was pointed out to me today. Well, not today, like today or yesterday, and I thought it was interesting because I'm like, I actually kind of agree with this. I remember thinking the same thing both times this happened, but there was two main instances where a character kind of pulled out an item that was extremely convenient. I don't know if this is a real criticism of the series, but maybe a criticism of those two instances. One, I kind of feel like it's justified because like it's Urek. When Urek had the serum to take out the red Xarso or whatever from El Joe, he's kind of like, oh yeah, I have this serum. I'm like, okay.
Well, come on, like he's the one who started it. I'm pretty sure he knew how to clean his own ass.
It's just one of those things where just like you just have this. Some people are kind of like you just have this syringe you can stick in the guy and then okay, like how convenient is that? You know, like the Cardi B shit. You know, and the format pill for the data floor. We're like, oh, I'll just eat this and delete the floor, right? So some people thought that was kind of an ass pull. It's like, oh, you just have.
Well, I mean, these guys are perfect. You love One Piece and you have valid criticisms of that. It just comes with the territory. Not everything these guys do are gonna be perfect 100%. Yes, it is convenient. I feel like the data thing was worse personally because like he said Yurik knew Joe beforehand. And he also has a whole organization that could have made that for him. It'd have been one thing if Yurik was like, hey, I made this specifically for this entire moment. I'd be like, what the fuck? I mean, like, you're not known for any of that, and all of a sudden now you're just like Gustang, and you're a genius.
Yeah.
I think it just wasn't explained greatly why he would have it.
That, like Urek gave Joe the Tharissa, so like I would hope that like just in case things went south, he would be like, all right, I got a backup plan. Because even though like Urek is an ape, he's smart enough to know like, okay, like this. Like I'm sure that like when he decided he was gonna give him the Tharissa, someone in Wohala Kong was like, okay, nah, we not doing this. And he was like, all right, but I want to do it. So
well, it's just like, people can be influenced and things go wrong. So that's why I said that one was a little bit more understandable. The data thing, yeah, I can understand what being upset with that. It's just like, oh yeah, let's delete this whole floor that's been here the entire time before y'all even stepped up to the plate. That one was a lot more.
I always thought that like I thought that it was already clarified that he was a part of that group before that. I thought it was already explained that he was part of like that Yuho Wong whatever.
He started Wall
Song. Okay, that's how it's said.
That's been a thing that's been established since like the beginning.
His first introduction.
But that's why I think the Urek one was fine. Like he said, like he didn't make it, but like he probably have access to all kinds of scientists. We have a whole organization. So it didn't really throw me off. I can get why you kind of like, okay, how convenient you got this serum. But yeah, the data one, I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah. No, definitely. That
was weird. Yeah.
I think he kind of wrote himself, and I feel like they do this from time to time. I talk about Kishimoto and that damn war arc all the time. Roll himself into a corner. Sometimes these guys write themselves into a corner. That was the greatest fold
of all time. Like, how do you corner yourself that bad? He cornered himself so bad.
But it happens though because you want to do something cool. You want to do an interesting concept, but you're just like, this is going well. But then when you're like, oh, I have to end this, then you realize like, fuck, I didn't really give myself a cop out.
He didn't give himself
Here's Kaguya.
But see, here's the thing, right? No, but see, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. So he had Zetsu. He could have used Zetsu, and he could have used Kabuto and Danzo as like as cop outs too, because like it's like Danzo's like manipulating ninja history, like but no one's watching.
I don't want to go too deep.
Like he never comes through. Like that, that right there, that right there would have legitimized everything that was happening.
I'm not getting into this right now.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's like sometimes it's like how did you drop the ball that bad? It's like, yo, it was in your hand and you just kind of just like dropped it. Like how? Oh, I don't know. Some of these guys, I don't know. But like, yeah, like Eric, that was.
It's still like we crack on Toriyama for not remembering what he wrote, but I feel like it happens a lot more than we like to actually say.
Yeah,
it's just that it's just that our favorite series we're spoiled because our writers like they do a pretty good job. Like, and I don't know if they actually like read their series or they got guys telling them. They just do a better job at it. But even they write themselves into corners. Like I said, it happens.
Yeah. Okay, so another criticism that I get a lot. This one's a weird criticism because it's something I agree with, but I don't think it's a criticism. It's more like it just loses out comparatively. But it has to do with the action in Tower of God, where if you've read a lot of webtoons, you know, Obelisk Goes of the Wild, God of High School,
Gosu,
God of High School,
stuff like that. The action is phenomenal. It's fluid. Their sense of movement and scale, everything, it's just dope. It's just crazy. And just like Tower of God as an action series for the action portions, it doesn't stack up compared to something like Gosu. Like Gosu would destroy it in just the action department. While I do think that he's gotten so much better from the beginning, especially I would say around like the Ran and Nieta stuff.
Yeah.
Especially Kaiser versus Man when he was leaving through her whole like needles and stuff, like that was pretty dope. And then Jihad versus Battle Jihad and stuff, like I think he's getting a lot better. But I mean, I do agree that I guess in terms of action, it's not as good as like Noblesse, but it's not bad.
Well, I think part of the thing is though, it's like those guys have, or those particular series, I should say, have a easier fighting style, way of fighting. Because they're not dealing with a new, complete energy system that we'll talk about one day, but a new, complete energy system. And also, I think he has a tough time because, like, he has to think of new and creative ways to fight. Like, we see how he uses the pen, how much beautiful. I think he doesn't want to do copy and paste each attack. He wants everybody's individual moves to look beautiful, to look like their own signature style. That's why everybody has a style. Machini style, Splash style. He wants everybody to feel style. Like an individual.
To feel individual.
Yeah.
Like just copies of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
Like for me personally, like this is just like my personal view on Tower of God. So like if someone else doesn't see this way, like I completely understand. I don't see Tower of God as an action series first. I see it first as a adventure and then as an action series. So I'm more interested in the who, what, when, where, why, and how than I am about, all right, well, these guys are going to be throwing hands. Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm loving anytime I get to see, like, anyone from the Coon family throw hands, especially Ran or Machine. Like, that's like
hashtag Blue Smurf. Hashtag Blue Smurf.
Blue Smurf.
I'm never gonna get used. Like I'm living for that. Don't get me wrong, but like at the end of the day, like that's not my personal reason for reading this series. As long as I have, like, yes, it's cool to see people like shoot bombs out of each other's hands and stuff like that, or throw a Pokeball a la Wing Nan.
Hey.
But like
good choreography is an underrated skill. I don't think we appreciate enough sometimes. Yeah, we see so many good people with it that I think we underrate it. Like I love One Piece, and the One Piece choreography is not my favorite thing. There's some really, really good ones, and there's some ones. I think it's kind of hit and miss depending on the person who's writing it, because they may not like fighting as much as the next person. You never know.
Oh yeah. Plus, like also like I find a lot more investment for the Tower of God and the emotional aspect of why the characters are doing the things than the actual fighting. Like anytime you see Bam and Rachel are going to be like convening onto one point, like no matter what happens, like even though you might not want to see them together again, like so like this early or after so long, like or like after like the most recent stupid thing that Bam or Rachel did, you know that like something is going to happen and you're gonna feel for Bam in some way, or get mad at Rachel. Either way, I'm happy.
I can't stand that bitch, but I love her when she's on screen, so I can hate her some more. I need to hate her. I need to hate her. Like, I feel the need.
And like, I feel that. I need to hate her.
And like, I just want to like add this. Like, this is like unrelated to like grad or anything like that. But that's something that I have found with a lot of Korean writers. Like, they just know how to make you feel something. Like not even just like oh, you're a villain, like you're bad at like they know how to not make you like villains. Like I think that's a big problem with Bleach and Naruto and One Piece. Like,
they're always popping out. They're always changing size, and in Korean stuff, they don't do that. They're like,
no, like
they're
not even
evil,
that,
and they're gonna stay that way.
Though. Like, not even just that. Like, when you saw Madara show up, like whether you watched the anime or the manga, you were like, oh, it's about to go down, and then you low.
No, but he never felt like a villain. He never felt like a villain.
Oh, Madara, yeah, absolutely.
No, okay, but then you've got Zabuza, who like, okay, before Redemption, you like deep down inside, I don't care who you were, like you were like, yo, like this dude's kind of cool, like this dude's raw. Orochimaru, you're like, oh.
Well, like I said, none of them felt like actual villains. The difference between like Tower of God, at least, right? Like Rachel may have her reason for doing what she does, but she's so just filthy and disgusting by it. The way that she operates, it's disgusting.
Then you've got Rachel, and then like I don't know if you guys have read Witch Hunter, but I read Witch Hunter. Arya literally, like, I never know how to feel about it because like Arya is such a tragic villain who you just can't help but sympathize.
See, but it's but that's my point though. It's the tactics that make them disgusting. The things that they do to get the upper hand are completely disgusting. No, I've read Witch Hunter, so I know what you're talking about. But she's disgusting. But she's a disgusting character.
Exactly, like why I understand that. Like for Arya, like I watch what she does, and like it breaks my heart because I'm just like, no, Arya, like you want to love her so much, but you know, no matter what happens, like you've seen all that she does, like you cannot like her, you cannot like. You can't find it in your heart, even though no matter how badly you want that to happen. Meanwhile, with like
I don't feel that strongly about Arya, like this deep-seated hate. Like I honestly don't even feel that because
no, I don't hate her, but you want to like her, but you just want her to like get back to like what she was before, but like
Witch Hunter spoilers.
Honestly, bro, I mean it's just me. I'm kind of weird in that aspect, but I like all the villains in Witch Hunter. Personally, I personally like all of them.
I mean,
I don't know if I've watched Witch Hunter, so I don't know what you guys talking about.
Rachel is like the one of the best. Like I see like the characters that I hate the most are the ones that are most human to me. All these other larger than life characters that are cool with powers, I normally never hate them, and then they always seem to write them to end up being sympathetic anyway, which I really hate. That's something I really hate in fiction in general. Like, just make the person a villain because they're a villain. Like, don't dress it up.
At the very least,
don't dress it up.
When they are dying, it's a stop with the cop out where it's like, it's because my parents. Like, no, man, you're not a
you're a piece of shit. That's what you are.
Some people. Okay, like for example, some people will talk about My Hero and say like, okay, like absolute ass, but like I'll be like, yo, something like those villains don't care about their lives. Like they don't. Like they never have. Nor will they begin to either. Just like I've seen like some of like the boss they do. They're dirty. They're filthy. Like, and I feel you. It's like like don't dress it up. There's no little like sad history. Like, and even if there is, it doesn't matter. Like they've been warped. That's what they developed to become.
See, that's how I feel about Rachel. It doesn't matter what backstory comes up with her later. It's not going to change the fact that she was disgusting the entire series.
Yes,
exactly. It doesn't matter what she does.
Like, if there was ever going to be some way to redeem Rachel, it'll be so it's going to be to the point where it's just so far gone where no matter what, you're just be like, good, I'm glad she's dead. Like that's the only way that you could ever possibly redeem her, and even then, it won't even be like, oh, she's redeemed. It's like more so like Bam forgave her, and you're like, oh,
she is actually a legitimate criticism that a lot of people have with the series, where they hate her so much They need it. They just want her gone, gone to
Like I said, it's the most human aspect. It's crazy. Go
format
ahead.
pill,
Carnage
eat it,
out,
gone.
carnage out, carnage
Yeah.
out.
And the thing about it is, listen, man. I don't
Yo,
think anybody in this right here and today. Simmy just joined us, by the way. What's up?
What's up, boy?
We don't like Rachel, right? But
Hmm.
I feel like we all know how essential she is to Tower Goster. We never
Right.
downplay her from a writing aspect, from a writing standpoint. We know she's important. We know she's well written, all that stuff. We just don't like her, and she's made to be unlikable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do you think it's fair to be like she's so bad because I don't like it that you?
No, hell no. Like I think
Tower-
people
Tower
overreach
God
a little
suffers?
bit.
Yeah.
But
that's
like
crazy.
I said,
That's ridiculous. That's
yeah,
ridiculous.
like
what that is.
that's just like
Poppycock. That's what that is.
like I don't even know how you get to that point where you just fucking hate a character so much you're just like this series sucks because this not person is not gone.
It's
Like,
not gone. It's just like you haven't done anything.
that's so insane to me. But the other thing is like how I feel about Rachel. The best thing SIU does for her is the fact that like she has this gimmick. You know how like the Berserk crowd, the people that love Griffith, like Griffith does nothing wrong. Except he's like a complete shithead, and somehow people are sympathetic towards him. I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
I
But-
thought that was purely ironic, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. But no, the fact that I like is that Rachel does that for like herself. She's like, I've done nothing wrong. I'm just trying to live my own life. But it's just like, okay, but if that was the case, why do you keep doing all these extra disgusting things? That you
Yeah,
do?
like dead ass,
why did
bro.
she
Like,
need to?
what are you
Like, why did she need to stab Dan's leg? What possible reason did she have except she's just a sadistic, disgusting bitch? Yeah, like that's
Carnage
like a
out,
quality.
ape out.
I don't think she
Ape
notices in herself. And everybody tells her all the time. Like, even other characters notice. It's not even just like we're just like, oh, Rachel's a bitch. Other characters are like, you're ugly. You're ugly physically, and you're ugly as a person.
And that was
You're
like
terrible.
something SIU noted like early on in the series that like Rachel he intended Rachel to be the ugliest girl out of all of them in like the floor of tests. And
Yo, that's
meanwhile-
crazy. That's
And like
I mean, Bam said she's not pretty in the first chapter.
Yeah, he did say that.
yo,
Yeah,
that's
she's-
crazy.
And like,
forgot about that. That was
happy
funny.
with this one. Like, Hwara Yun was supposed to be the most beautiful one out of all of them, and apparently that was supposed to be important later on.
I mean,
So we
it's
gonna
true
see
though.
how
It's
this
true
goes.
though. I mean,
I
Yeah,
mean,
big facts. It's true.
yeah.
Hey, let's go. Listen, we
Here
ain't talking
we go.
about no problems with the series. Now, this is Bible study. You know what I'm saying?
Bible study. Yo, this kid.
oh my goodness.
Yo, someone kick him real quick.
Simmy, chime in on the Rachel stuff. Do you think that's a fair criticism of the series that she needs to be gone?
No, just grow up. If you as a reader can't read something because you dislike a character so much, then you don't need to be reading fiction. Period.
Yeah.
I
that's
think it's
all.
one thing to dislike the main character so much that you can't read it. But like,
If somebody is written so you're supposed to dislike them and you dislike them, well, guess what? The author is
character.
doing their job.
Yeah, yep, great
Simple as
character.
that.
It's
So
one of the
that's
main
why-
characters.
if
though.
you can't get behind the main character, okay, fine. That's understandable. Like you're supposed to want to root for the main character in some way, shape, or form. But if you can't get if you just don't like an antagonistic character that you're supposed to hate, then what is then I don't understand what the problem is. Like, you're not supposed to like this character anyway. You're supposed to find them vile and disgusting.
I
what's the
could still argue against it. And not even in the main character's case, it's not always 100% you're supposed to like them. They could be written so that you're not supposed to either. But that's not the conversation.
Well, I mean, like in this kind of story, like you're supposed to want Bam to succeed at least mildly. If that's the narrative of the story, you're supposed to at least want to root for them in some way, shape, or form. But But yeah, I don't think that disliking Rachel of all characters is a fair criticism at all. In fact, that's the most convoluted thing that you could ever say about the series.
it's the entire point. So again, that's on your end. Grow up. Simple as that. You don't need to be reading fiction. Period. If it's a character you're not supposed to like, don't like them, and then you get mad.
Big facts.
Grow up.
All right. Yeah, yo, facts though. Grow up. All right. And then I guess I have two more. One of them is the one that I've been hearing the whole Tower of Gods like for years, I guess. One is Bam and his power ups. people think he gets too much power ups, too many ass pulls, plot armor, all the buzzwords that they like to use, stuff like that.
Nope.
Stop.
Nope.
Stop. Just stop.
How do we
Just
feel
stop.
about
Just
this?
stop. Just
The
stop.
only character I've seen like that I can remember off rip that I was literally like, I fucking hate everybody, whoever was involved with writing this story, was Bleach. And I actually like Bleach, but Ichigo was the most bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Like, cause like
Crazy.
The
He's a
thing
Visor,
that-
he's a
yeah.
freaking
But my thing is the thing
Wolverine,
that like
Quincy.
Nye brought up to me a long time ago. For almost all of Bam's power up, they told you beforehand. They foreshadowed it, or they had a reasonable explanation why it happened.
And it usually comes with a character growth moment. Where
Right.
Like his
In
true-
Bleach,
like his
it was like after it happened. It was like after he got his ass beat, or like during the moment. It's like, oh, by the way, you have this in you.
I know
It's
the
like
Bon-
he could have been
I-
dead by now.
I know the Bankai takes hundreds of years to learn and master, but you can learn in 3 days.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
right. Like it
Hey,
was
man, hey, man,
happening
I don't wanna hear none
in
of
the
this. I don't wanna
moment.
hear
all
none of
his
this.
power ups, and the fact he had like 4 different. Like his mom died before the series even started. By the way,
His mom-
her Quincy, she had Quincy in her. Your dad,
Hey, man.
he's a Shimigami after, even though his whole entire family could have been killed like 8 times. But
Hey, man,
it's
I
that
wanna
type of
hear
stuff
none of
that
this.
bugs me. It's not what Tower of God does. And even then, Bam, like it's not like Bam's like watching these people. He's barely edging this shit out, and he doesn't
Yeah,
even
that'd be
kill a
it.
lot of the enemies that he had to deal with. It's when Bam becomes completely strong that he waxes people. Like he got the power up, didn't fight in White, and he still didn't beat White. He got the power up versus Zada Jihad. He still didn't really technically beat him. That fight could have continued a lot longer, except Zada Jihad was like, "Oh, you good."
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. This
Which is a common
spoiler.
misconception. Everybody's like, Bam won that fight straight up. No,
No.
he quit. Zada Jihad stopped.
you like
That
Zada
Jihad
Jihad
could
is
have been
like,
like-
oh, this kid's interesting. Let's keep him alive.
Yeah, Zada Jihad could have been like, I will fight you till you will literally obliterate my ashes. But that's not what he did. He stopped. He was like, okay, that's good enough for me.
Big facts.
He's like, this
The
kid's
whole
exciting.
thing
Let's see what happens.
The whole thing with ass pulls though is really annoying because people who say that they're the type who the second any type of character period, let alone be the main character or supporting character, takes any type of quote unquote L, they are automatically trash. Like losing is not also part of the story. So I'm not hearing nothing about no ass pulls and no power ups period. When there's this whole culture of MCs having to be absolutely invincible and perfect and having to get W's left and right, otherwise they're trash. So
Yeah, that's
I'm not
boring. That's
hearing
boring as
none
shit.
of that. The second any type of character does anything that has to do with losing or not coming out on top, there's memes left and right. They trash it, this and that. Now, but when in Bam's case it's ass pulls and too many power ups and whatnot, and it's coming out of left field, I'm not hearing none of that shit, man. Vince already
Like,
said it
and
himself.
even then, like half the power. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll let you finish.
Vince even said it himself. Everything has been foreshadowed. Simple as that. So there's really nothing to complain about. Just because you haven't noticed it doesn't mean that it wasn't there. Reread the fucking story. But better yet, pay attention more. Simple as that. It's not like we have the freaking counter arguments for these, and if you choose to ignore it, that's on you. That ain't my problem.
And like on top of that, like they say these like all the stuff about powers and this, that, and the other. Like how many powers has he gotten that have continuously influenced the story from that point forward? Okay, the Thorn, he's used it maybe in 4 fights since he's gotten it.
That's a lot,
Like-
actually. That's
Yeah,
decent.
yes, it's a lot, but like considering like okay, how many fights did Naruto have to go into some 5 not Nine-Tailed Fox form?
But my thing is though, you saying that though, but it's not like it's a finishing move.
Like no, like,
Yeah.
it's not like he's like yes, he does get these powers, but he's not overly reliant on them to get shit done.
He has to have the power ups to keep pace in the first place. To be honest, most series like okay, let's say you get the Gazuga Tesho or the Rasengan, they just spam that shit like 80 times.
Yeah,
Or just
like
to get
that's
a
like the
new
only
version
real
of
problem.
it to
That's
take
the
her
only
out
problem.
to take out this specific opponent. But that's not what the power ups and Tower of God even do. And another thing is though, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have a main character where you want him to be overpowered, but then complain like, why doesn't he have any development? He never loses. And
Yeah.
then you can have a character that loses all the time, and you be like, when is he gonna get his moment? Fucking pick something. You brain dead monkeys.
You break big ape.
That is like,
pick a side.
Bam needed the thorn to beat Reflejo first of all. Then after that, when he used it, regulars was keeping up with him in his whole quote unquote yandere moment. He couldn't even keep up with those mad dogs. They was blocking his attacks or whatnot. So I don't fucking get it.
I mean, he did end up one-shotting it later on though. Here's the thing: the Thorn is a part of the whole mythos of Bam and Enryu, being the, what I'm saying, like he prophet for Bam, messenger of God, etc., etc. So it's like you said, explain, foreshadow, X, Y, and Z, all that is there. For me, the Thorn is fine. I think the only time where I was like, damn, this Thorn is a little convenient was Hellform. Like, only he could use Shinsu. Like, that's
right. Yeah.
That's
a little nice. But other than that, really,
like I said, it was another one of those things where he kind of wrote himself into a corner though. Because like Joe on the floor was invincible, so it was just like, oh yeah, how we gonna beat Joe? Because even Yuri couldn't touch Joe, so that's an issue.
Yeah.
No, but like also though, you have to remember that like they pretty much said that like Bam can use Shinsu whenever the fuck he wants. He has, like,
no, but my thing isn't the fact that it even affected Joe, because the fact is you have two high rankers between Garam and Yuri with you, and they can't touch Joe.
No, I'm not denying that.
Urek couldn't use Shinsu either. Like at the end of the day, he wasn't gonna lose no matter what. But he couldn't use Shinsu.
No,
right.
But like that was something that they even like alluded to at the very beginning of the series when what's his face did the whole like Shinsu wall. Like Bam wasn't even phased by it. Like he literally wasn't touched. He just stayed where he was.
I feel you, but the reason I say it's a criticism, like, cause like when I said Yurik's in a regular too.
Yeah.
So the fact that only Bam specifically could do that was like a main character moment. It was like I'm the main character.
But here's the thing though.
Nobody else is.
But the thing is though that like everyone has like I feel like it's been alluded to that all irregulars have different ways of exhibiting their abilities. Like Phantomina, he's an Axis. So in other words, whatever he wants happens no matter what. It doesn't matter. He's the writer of the series.
I feel you, but I'm just saying that's like a criticism I could deal with. I'd be like, okay, I can see why that bothers you.
No, like again, like I'm just saying that like from what I understand about the series, I just don't think that is a fair.
I get you, Marcus. I get you. I'm just saying, like, if somebody would have told me that, I would have been like, yeah, okay, slightly understand.
I just meant like I could understand you being like, I don't know about that for literally that specific moment. Like, hey, like you can use Shinsu. Let's go. Where I was just like, okay, I mean,
like I think that's
nice.
Like I think that's something that's like further clarified in some way, shape, or form, if that is a problem. Like, because yes, I can definitely understand why that could be an issue for someone, but at the same time, like that should be like touched on at some point later on in the series.
It should be, but first things first. I don't appreciate the slander on Bleach. I was actually a fan. I actually enjoyed Bleach towards its ending.
It was actually my favorite of the big three originally before the terrible ass ending and everything else that happened.
Yes, and the ending. Yes, and I will agree. The ending wasn't.
Bleach and watch it.
and I will agree. Yes, like the main flaw was that Ichigo, like he had all like it's okay, fine, fair enough. But like Bam also had like all these different abilities and everything, and Ichigo did too. It's like Ichigo progressively just kind of went through and just kept winning and didn't stop winning. It was all like, okay, maybe you need to take like a couple more Ichimaru hits.
But my thing is, Ichigo would get his ass completely beaten. Ichigo would get destroyed and get back up because somebody screamed or something, or his hollow side was like, you can't die.
Yo, that Ukuyara shit was fucking mid. I mean,
exactly.
It was raw to look at, but that didn't make no kind of sense. But.
Right, nonsense, no sense.
If you
like that, but yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Obviously, you know that if you go through and you watch Blood, where you find out about like why Ichigo's like a fucking mishmash of bullshit. You find out that hey, it's all Aizen's fault. So that's one. That's
No,
like one.
I feel you, and I don't want to go
That's
too
all I-
deep into the Bleach lore, but still, fuck that shit, homie.
Yeah.
For real.
Okay.
Fuck
okay.
all of that
and
shit.
he was nerfed the whole time because
Yeah, like
Juha
that-
Bach was nah, that's whack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, nah, I can't accept that shit.
I cannot defend that in good way. We're not doing this. At least admit.
We're not defending it.
So
We're
what's
not.
the-
No defense. No defense. But get back from. Oh no, go ahead. My bad. That's like one little rant pit that I had. I was gonna, but I was gonna say, yeah, like I do see it when people like get confused and stuff, because you're like, even me, like now, like I'm kind of new when it comes to Tower God compared to like the rest of you, because I'm probably like the newest guy, like on the stream and everything. But it's like, sometimes I forget. It's like, oh shit, Bam can do this, that, and the third, and it's like he actually has this, that, and that inside of it. And it's like I forgot like all of this shit's gonna evolve at one point and coalesce, and it's like, oh, this shit. Like, it's like one bit after another. And it's like, yeah, it can get overwhelming after a while. It's like, yo, main character, you got a little too much shit going on inside you.
So do you think that he gets too many power-ups?
Honestly, like, because of how crazy I've seen, like, the rankers and what they can do, I don't think he has enough.
I was gonna ask you real quick, how many more criticisms did you want to touch on? Because if not, I have some that I want to bring up. Maybe like 2 of them.
Go ahead. That was pretty much. I have one more, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna ask. This is not really a criticism, but I could see how this is a criticism. I might have to word this 2 different ways, or 2 different statements. Okay. So like I said, for this, I kind of touched on this on the podcast. How do y'all feel about all these, basically Bam having all these allies without having allies? I don't know how to word this correctly, because these people are basically his allies, but it's never like they have a reason to protect him, except for the fact that he's like FUG. And they're taking an interest in him.
Yeah. Like that's actually something I do. Like, I feel like that's a little something I have a problem with personally. Like, Bam is kind of having a bit of a Naruto effect, in which anyone he ever meets either is going to be his best friend forever, or they're going to try to murder him. And that's a little too confusing, personally. It's literally just, okay, will I kill you, or will I be your best friend? Will I kill your best friend? Like, it's just constantly the same thing back and forth every 3 minutes.
The fact that he survived fucking Urek, like, alone is just, like, mind-boggling to me sometimes when I think about it. Because, like, Urek was out here slapping Karaka with, like, a single finger.
I agree. And the fact that he was beating people with his finger, Karaka was like, I can't beat this dude with using one finger. And Bam conveniently, just, like, he didn't beat that nigga ass. Like, That was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. Well, how do y'all feel about that, Simmy?
The thing is, I think Sui's doing a good job with it because they're not always there. Like, for example, Rekio hasn't always been there, and Yuri hasn't always been there until just now. So, there's a lot of powerful people with him, or that take an interest in him. They're not always there to bail him out, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Of course, the current arc is not really doing my argument any favors, but
no, but I get you. It's long enough where I definitely see your point.
Yeah, I mean, we've still been here for 300 chapters, so Yuri was introduced since chapter 1, and she just came back 1 arc ago, or I should say 1 saga ago, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're not.
It's just nice.
They're not always there, but yeah, I mean. I would find it annoying if they was always there, like they always had that fail safe. But it was literally freaking season 2 started. It was just freaking Bam and Team Sweet and Sour, and that was it.
That's what I say. That's what I say. It's not really huge for me, but I can see how being boss some. But I also think it happens because, like how we kind of touched on earlier, there's such a large cast of characters he wants to put in, like. There's the rankers and the high rankers are so much stronger than anybody ever realized. That's why I don't appreciate when people shit on them and don't give like Karaka and people like that their credit. It was like, if they didn't have Yuri, this series would have been over. Morocco would have literally dragged Bam's dead carcass to do whatever he was gonna do with it, or absorb him or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
like
like
you also bring up a good point. It's like they're not only a failsafe for the characters to get out of a sticky situation, but they're also a failsafe to keep the lore intact. Because if Yuri wasn't there on the Hell Train, and then freaking here come Bam fending off both Hulkwind and Crocker, that would be complete bullshit. So
yeah, right, complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah.
So they're needed. Not only that, but you have to take into account the type of people that will be antagonists in the future. Hell, even now, it's already according to the wiki, it's already stated that Gustang will 100% be an antagonist. He is the first person to record Shinsu in the tower. He was able to heal Rachel by just looking at her. He's one of the 10 great bums. What is Bam going to do against him?
Yeah, I feel that. What was the other one that I was gonna say I had a problem with?
Let me go. Sorry, I went to the washroom.
Okay, go ahead. Oh yeah. Do your thing.
It is what I mean. He's an irregular, right? And usually when a regular comes to the tower, they do something crazy, and then people are going to be attracted to something. Like the fact that a regular just opened the tower in the set, it drew Yuri. Like, yo, I wonder if he's like a monster like Urek. Like, they're interesting in that aspect. So, like, for him to have people around him like that, I don't really think it's that big a deal. It's just something a lot of those characters do, their charisma, or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy can make friends with pretty much anybody in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But it's one of those things where I could feel why that could kind of bother you, because it almost feels like he has like Yuri in his back pocket at any given point. You know what I'm saying? So I can see why it's kind of bother you, but it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, I think it would bother me more if like Yurik was around more than he was. Mm-hmm. But since he's not, because like Yurik's like the ultimate fail safe. Because at least Yuri, there's a even though she's really strong, we know that there's like at least 499 people stronger than her.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, possibly.
But wait, hold on a second. Wait. So, name me a series where the main character does not attract people.
That was really why I didn't really have a problem with it. That's just a thing, man. Like,
no, it's not that they attract people. It's the level. It's the level.
It's the quality of people.
Because a big criticism that I see a lot with the Floor of Death is that Urek kills all the suspense and tension because they know how strong he is. So as soon as he pulled up, they're like, well, like what the fuck should I be afraid of? Urek.
I mean, but I would argue that the Floor of Death wasn't supposed to be a danger arc to begin with. That was an info dump for us, the reader.
Yeah.
On a lot.
I get this perspective. I feel you, but can I name you a series? It'd probably have to be a sports series if you want to be honest with you, or something.
Bro.
Other than not being shonen.
That's not
like, okay, so if that is a criticism for you, what the fuck you be reading or watching where that doesn't happen?
Like I said, it wasn't really a big criticism. Like I said, I could see how at a level it could be, because like I said, it's the level of people. Yurik is number 4 in the tower, so there's only 3 people stronger than him.
Possibly. Well, he was the strongest active member until John probably woke up. I don't think he's sleeping on. Well, I don't think he's sleeping personally.
Right, so that's just the personal way I saw it. But I guess the biggest criticism of it would have to be Yurik himself, because like Yuri and Evan don't really count, because Evan's not really Bam's ally, quote unquote. He's Yuri's ally that just happens to help Bam because Yuri asked him to.
And he wants nothing to do with any of this too.
Yeah, like he doesn't like fighting in the first place. And like I said, Yuri can be beaten. It's not that she can't be beaten. But like I said, I was just bringing it up because this chapter, he has White on his side because of the deal. They got Karaka on his side because of another deal. He got Yuri. He got Ivanka Hill and Submerged Fish because of
those reasons.
With Fug. Yeah, like, so it's just stuff like, but like I said, it doesn't bother me, but I know why. But I can see a little bit, just like if you were just like looking back from like a view, you're just like, that's a lot of fucking help. Not that he don't need it. Yeah. He obviously needs the help, because they wouldn't get out of the situation if they didn't have it.
A series that a main character does not attract attention is no series at all. And you just
Right.
be looking at a freaking bum standing by himself for one chapter and they gets canned. Like, come on.
Yep.
A main character attracts attention. Simple as that. That's why they are the main character, the center stage.
Well, it's just that certain series could probably like level out the opponent. Like I said, I understand why he has it because the opponents. That's why I don't understand why people think Bam could just beat all these rankers and stuff like that. Because if he really could, what's the point of having all these people on your team? And like, why would he be with all these other people? And why would he have all these other people? Because he's literally like, if Bam could be high ranker, that literally means he's carrying 10 people up the tower. at least 10 people up the tower.
Yuri, and not only that, Yuri is not going to be there 100%. Why? I should say Yuri's not going to be there completely throughout the entire journey. Why?
Yeah,
no.
Because Evan is guiding her on a path to destruction of Fug. Bam is Fug. Simple as that. There you go. There's a conflict.
Yeah,
right there.
I wonder how they going. I mean, I'm not gonna worry about it too hard right now, but I wonder what they are gonna do.
Their fate is intertwined for a reason, and they keep bringing that up on the side for a reason. There's going to be a huge conflict in that in the future. Simple as
That's
that.
the Princess War.
Pay
Princess War.
attention.
I still think, but well, my personal opinion on that though, my argument against that is that I don't think she's gonna be on the jihad side the entire time. I really don't, because like she has such like loyalty to Bam. Like she was instantly like, it was almost, I don't want to say love at first sight because that may be too strong.
Nah,
but-
no, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically what it was. She had love at first sight. Was she like, at least in Dorsey had to like warm up to the idea. He was just like, oh, this nigga different. Yuri was like, this nigga cute, and she was like, that was it. Like that was, she ran off with that.
I mean, that kind of segues into like the last thing that I had to say was a lot of people have problem with the BAM harem, as they call it. You know, like that. You know, Dorsey, Ella, and Yuri all like him. They don't. So they complain about that a lot. I see it a lot. Like,
He ain't smashing none of them.
They complain about that. That's just raw sauce. Can't complain about that.
Yeah,
Ella
honestly,
doesn't-
raw
well,
sauce.
first
Look,
of all-
man, he's spitting game and not even trying. That boy go.
First of all, Ella does not really like him. She's just a fucking pervert and can't get the thought of his fingers in her mouth out of her mind. So
Big facts. I forgot about that. Yo,
let's
like, what kind of
let's
shit?
begin with that. She does not really like him at all. It's just that one thing. Yuri and Dorsey are two legitimate things, but again, Yuri's way has something to do with the actual story. And
Yuri's a pedophile. Yuri's a pedophile. She's like, how many 100 years old? She's going after a little ass nigga like Bam. Because what? He's cute. Oh, look at that, a cute one, bro. A cute. Get out of
That's
here.
great.
And we've seen Uber-chan. We've watched Uber-chan's development from beginning to where we're at now. So it's like, what's the issue?
Yes, no.
There is
a lot of people, for some reason, already consider Garum and Elaine as part of the harem too.
Why? Why? They literally
telling
showed
you
up
what
I
for
see.
one piece.
I'm just telling you
That's
what I
just
see.
stupid.
I ain't believe this. I'm like, this is the brain that should have to deal with.
Yeah, but that's just like retarded. That's just them like trying to find something because they already hate the series.
Like, no.
Yeah, because they already hate the series. You know, that's just that's the type of agenda pushing that I don't like. Like, I know we have our fun and games. Like, you were complaining about that with One Piece. Like, people were like, stop talking bad about Luffy. It's like, bro, at least the agenda was like,
joke.
yeah, the agenda is like in fun. Is there some truth to it? Like,
There is,
they be
yeah.
pulling rabbits out of their ass
Bro,
for these
when
agenda
Kid
pushing.
got washed by Kaido, I flamed him. I gotta keep the same energy. I know it's Luffy. I hate to do it, but you got one shot at my nigga. So
I still don't understand how there's kid stains, but that's a story for another day.
yeah. Well,
Listen, it's like Zaya does not love Bam. Baryon doesn't love Bam either. Ella does not love Bam. Graham doesn't
You know
love
what?
Bam.
Bam should love her though. Bam should love Huarian because that's the person I'd pick.
Listen, that's a conversation for a different day. I'm gonna tell you what, he don't deserve her. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that.
Okay, Simmy,
much.
who does deserve her then?
Me!
Because oh, you, that's right, you that one dude who was on
that's my
the
younger brother, however his name.
on the train. He was like, wow.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, he was like, wow, that's crazy.
Anything else you think we need to address, or we got everything?
No, I feel like we touched on good because like there's really not that many criticisms based in some level of truth. Like I said, the common thing you already touched on was the art style, and that's like baloney to me. Because like if you could sit through Blade of the Immortal and Hunter x Hunter, you should never complain about art ever again.
Big facts. Big facts. Yo, this man Takashi needs to stop.
Yo, he be scribbling, boy.
Yeah, like yo, a straight scribble, and he's the same guy who did like Gon versus Pito, and with like all that shit.
Like he got some good art in there, but sometimes he just be doodling. Like, let me tell you,
Pito's face was doodled. You know that, right? Pito's busted face was doodled to all hell. I was like, yo, I swear to God, he flamed Pito though, because Pito got fucked up.
Oh, okay. Another thing too. I know this is not really part of this argument, but anybody who watches this video and anybody on Twitter, stop complaining about niggas slandering shit on the TL. Stop it. Y'all are so ridiculously weak and sensitive. If people didn't slander stuff, we would have nothing to talk about. It's one thing to slander things that make no sense. Yeah, like, come on, yeah, like come on, like one thing to slander things or just like have baseless slander. It's another thing. They be complaining about nothing. Like y'all want every series of every fandom to get along. That's boring.
I hate the why can't we like everything ass nigga. Shut the fuck up and pick a side, bitch.
Yeah, that's just so fucking awful, bro.
I'm tired of this shit. Pick a side.
Yeah, like why do you like? And then also like a lot of the series, it almost don't even make sense why you were like because they're rooted in different things. All these series are not the same. The reason I like Tower of God would not be the same reason I like My Hero. Yeah. If I don't like My Hero, I wouldn't like My Hero. And just because I don't like My Hero doesn't mean I hate every aspect of it. If I hate Deku, that don't got nothing to do with the rest of the series. I might like the villains, I might like the powers, but if I feel like Deku a fucking bitch, that's up to me. like, people just be like, I don't get it, man. That's a weak wheel.
Yo, the funny thing I saw the other day when we were sliding everything, I'm sorry, is that Yusuke got bought by a Honda Civic.
Like that's just hilarious.
Who would have win in a fight? Lightning McQueen or Yusuke? I'm dying.
Like, bro, that's a weak will. Like, if you can't handle slander or your series being slandered, like, don't hop on Twitter, or you better have that clap back ready. It's a public domain. If you're willing to tweet, I hate people like that. Because if I don't want somebody to tweet me, I'll block them or mute them. That's like a respectable thing. But if I'm gonna tweet something, like I respect some type of drawback. Especially if I have an opinion, a hot take. You can't have a hot take and then get mad when niggas got a clap back to your hot take. Especially when you say retarded ass shit. Like you can't get on and be like, I think Ichigo Kurosaki is the best man character of all time. Okay, explain why you think that. Shut up! I don't need to have a reason to think like.
It's just my opinion. Your opinion is wrong. It could be wrong.
Yo, get wrong, motherfucker. Oh my lord!
You think they safe? We ain't safe.
Right? Yeah.
God damn it!
Maybe that was funny as hell, bro. I'm not even gonna follow. The way you
was safe, nigga.
Your cosplay was perfect for that.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. And conclusion, a lot of your criticisms are trash.
Yeah.